perhaps a reminder, Miss Blake. I don't know if you know this, but social media, not always particularly representative of the real world.
Wow.
Shocking, I know. There's some people that might shock them. But trust me, if you're on Twitter and it seems like the entirety of Twitter is blowing up over one thing, it doesn't immediately mean that that is applicable to the entire population of the fucking world. Sometimes it's accurate. Depends on the topic. But let me tell you something. It's not accurate for this. So after years of people just being very upset and very hard-nosed about supporting Hogwarts, what was it called? What's it called? Hogwarts Legacy or some shit? What I have written here in my notes, I can't even remember. Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy. That's the Harry Potter game coming up that actually looks like a pretty fucking dope video game from what I've seen. I'm not chomping at the bit to play it, but what I've watched gameplay, it looks pretty fucking good.
Looks like a game.
It looks like a game. And there's a lot of people that like Harry Potter and a lot of people that play video games. And so if it's a good game, I suspect it's probably going to sell a few copies. And we know it's going to sell a few copies because in the last several weeks, ever since it's been put up for pretty much pre-order, it has been steadily climbing, just as an example, the Steam charts just as a pre-order. Not even released yet, but just as a pre-order. It's gone from like 8th to 5th, and it just seems to keep on fucking going up. People pre-ordering this game and buying it in droves. And a lot of discourse. If you would think that if you were like my Twitter, and you've got a mixture of people that play games and people that critique games and industry, people that are involved as well. And I follow a lot of just artists. So whether it's painters or writers or whatever, all of that intersects at fucking Hogwarts Legacy for some reason. I mean, you can probably put together why that might happen. But so my timeline for periods of time is all of those different segments talking about this game. And what supporting it means because of J.K. Rowling's comments in various forums over the last few years about the transgender community and transgender women specifically, and the whole concept of nobody should, there's like kind of the two camps. Nobody should be buying this game because it supports J.K. Rowling, who has been making these comments against the transgender community, specifically transgender women, and the other camp that says, well, a common comparison is, what did you use to fucking send that tweet out into the fucking world? Well, most people are using one of these bad boys right here. Right here. And I don't want to remind anyone, because you probably don't want to think about it. And nobody really does. But most of the raw materials that go into making these bad boys are mined by children in undeveloped countries. Follow that up with most of them are built by children in underdeveloped countries, and even some that are developed, but they just have child labor laws that don't fucking exist. And many of them, unfortunately, are companies that will say on paper, oh, like ethically sourced. But if you trace it back, as it's been done with cobalt, for example, if you want to really hate yourself, go look up cobalt mining. You'll find out which for like cobalt used in like batteries and stuff. That's not true. They're just lying. and so
you've been lied to.
So for example, the comparison. So Chris is saying in chat right now, the comparison doesn't really work though, because things like phones are a necessity in the modern world. The game isn't. Well, two things. One is that, like, let's say a direct comparison isn't. You want to posit that it isn't possible. It's the. I'm not trying to make the tangible result the conversation so much as the moral implied nature of both of these arguments, which are completely and utterly comparable in every way you could hope to imagine. Now, if you want to talk about the utility of a game versus the utility of a cell phone, I know at least 3 people my age that don't use a cell phone, except for when they have to, and they have a burner phone that they spend $3 a month at a fucking like 7-Eleven that they bought a prepaid thing for, because they hate this shit. And they get off of it. It's not necessary to have that. Does it help you? Sure. Why not? Absolutely. You don't what did you think did the world fucking revolve around before this? Like, you don't really need it. Anyway, it's not about the tangible comparison. It's the morality of these conversations, because that's what it's really about. Because at the end of the day, whether people are buying this game or not, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. J.K. Rowling is making fucking ass tons of money. And that's not going to fucking stop. Because there are a lot of people that you will never reach in your lifetime. And even if you did, will not fucking care. Because that comparison of saying, well, if I buy this, then this person who I think is bad, or I believe is bad, is going to profit. If you don't want to talk about phone, let me just continue on.
It works for everything, bro.
Everything. This fucking random tape measure. This pen that I'm holding in my hand. This wireless keyboard. This fucking notepad. The fucking vitamin C tablets that I'm sitting on. This random fucking glass jar. The underwear that I half shit 5 minutes ago. Everything you lay hands on, with a small, tiny, absolutely astronomical percentage in which all of the raw materials and all of the labor and all of the sales that has happened has been produced by ethical, legally sourced, in-country things. And I mean a tiny list. Everything. The food you eat.
Yup.
The avocado on your toast.
Adam, no! Adam, don't speak the truth, Adam! It doesn't help my agenda, Adam.
Do you need food?
No, Adam, no. My ears. I can't handle the truth. Don't tell me this. The clothes I'm wearing, god damn. I wonder where the Under Armour was made at. My guess, China. You want to know who's making this shit?
Children.
My son. Instead of playing Pokemon upstairs, he's in a shop. It's sad, but it's the world we live in. Listen, people can go ahead and if they don't want to support the game because J.K. Rowling is part of it, hey,
fine. That's fucking awesome. Do it.
You have that freedom.
Fuck J.K. Rowling. Fuck her.
There you go.
You've done it. But don't be a fucking vegan and weaponize your own moral compass for somebody else's and go to them and be like, oh, you asshole. You should do what I'm doing. And if you don't, you're the enemy.
Bad. Yeah, you're bad.
You're as bad as them. And don't get me fucking started on the vegan thing either. Because I don't know if people think about this for 5 seconds, but if you just go like straight fucking vegan and everyone started with plants, do you know how much like fucking chemical and shit is used to fucking grow the vegetable only thing that you're talking about? And then furthermore, how do you think the vegetables that don't grow seasonally in one fucking place, where do you think it comes from? How do you think it gets to you? Do you think that do you want to say on one hand planes are the most pollutant fucking thing in the world and then realize that most of your food that's coming from overseas is coming from the two biggest polluters, cargo ships and planes? And you're going to be like, oh, but the cows that are farting in an open field, destroying the world, methane leaking out of the asshole of my fucking dinner next Tuesday is so much worse than flying 40 tons of fucking avocado to a place in the world that didn't know what avocado was until 2003.
Hey, man, I got nothing. I got nothing to add here, Adam. He's dead already, man. He's dead.
I have nothing against, like you said. If you want to do that and be the person that says, I'm against what she says, I don't want to support anything that she has anything to do with.
You have that
because
right.
I'm against it. Great. Oh my God, you know what's the brilliant thing about that? Is that we all occupy a society in which you aren't punished for doing it. You can totally do that shit. You're not going to be sent to prison for expressing your opinion that you think JK should walk off a fucking short pier with fucking concrete shoes. That's not a fucking problem. Now, if you put her in the shoes and push her, that's a problem. But you can say that that you'd like her to take a long walk off a short pier, it's fine. But stop trying to weaponize and vilify everyone that doesn't hold the exact same moral opinions about various things that you do. Just express your opinions. And if people ask you about it, explain your position calmly, and then that's it. Lead by example. Don't force people. The worst way to get anyone to do anything is to try and force them to do it. You lead by example. They look at you and you go, hey, that person looks like they're pretty fucking happy. They're having a great fucking time. I wonder what their secret is. And then they ask you, and you're like, and you don't preach it to them. You just say, hey, this is what I do. I wake up in the morning, and right now, what's the fucking popular thing? I wake up in the morning, I take a fucking ice bath at minus 45 degrees Celsius. I fucking shrivel my testicles into my stomach to wake up instead of drinking coffee. And then I fucking do like fucking taint sunning yoga in a field until like 12. And then I go and work in Silicon Valley for like 3 to 4 minutes. And then I go home and I make 600 grand a year. And like, wow! That sounds pretty good, and it wasn't preachy. Maybe I will do the same and start sunning my taint for a couple hours a day. Maybe that will make me happy, and then move on. But if you go on the internet and you're like, if you don't fucking get out there and fucking sun your taint thrice a day, you're a problem. Nobody's gonna want to do that shit. They're just gonna think you're an asshole. And if you represent something that way, then they're gonna associate the assholes with the thing that you're trying to convince them to do. It's the opposite way to get anyone to do what you want. So just do your thing and let other people do their thing. And maybe don't look when you say, I'm going to like, everyone should boycott fucking, I don't know, fucking Weber natural vitamins. And you're like, fuck this company. And then you feel, and then you go and buy another vitamin brand. And then you realize that the two vitamin brands are owned by the same fucking major conglomerate.
They're owned by the same guy. Just
but
different,
you're like, fuck them.
name.
I'm buying this one. And you're like, oh wait, they're the same company. Just do your best, stay in your fucking lane, live your life, and when people come to you and be like, hey, what's the secret? Then you can tell them you can sun your taint while pointing both fingers at the last geolocation of J.K. Rowling, and everyone will be fucking happy. That's as complicated as it gets. Complicated as it fucking gets.
Yeah, I got nothing to add, Adam. You summed it up.